Offside laughs here at FMS. Like, why are you laughing? UEFA Champions League is back and better. We are playing the quarterfinal stages where Barcelona will play Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu, they'll be playing Bayern Munich, and also Arsenal play Sporting CP. Paris Saint-Germain, they will be playing Liverpool. What's actually going to end in that particular fixture? So without deeper into that, but do one thing for me: subscribe to the channel, turn on post notification bell, and also share for others to join. My name is Albertine Lopez. I'm doing this with Mr. Mafu, the charity guy, Stoney, the Catholic youth elder and leader, and also the cornerstone, the Kums man. Is that Samuel Akowa? Hey,
Menu Akowa.
Why is not feeling me, Dina?
Youth president. There's no one who lead the youth. You know.
So I need to.
Catholic youth.
Yes, the Catholic youths.
Are the youth safe?
They are very safe. As you can see me over here.
The
youth.
Are the youth safe?
Youth.
Oh, I was a youth.
I don't prefer the youth. You're more money to you, Charlie.
They have a good league.
I'll go watch my prefer the rice. Into Ushima say top.
No. Ebwa lane is
okay.
That's exactly the place.
When we be crowing out cheering.
That's nice. Hey. So Ushima say top now. Talk one side.
But you see, I think we should. We'll be at the mouth. Say we
Yeah.
So we have this one person.
Okay.
Who has been helping one of our brothers with shirts. Anyway, Italian made.
Fia Palermo.
So massive shout out to Fia Palermo. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. But Oliver Twist always asks for more. It's you with back on next time. And you see,
That's
maybe maybe.
Shirt no se nefe come on.
Shirt nefe. I was in the shirt.
This is the one tie.
Come on.
And okay, you know the correct
Palemo.
I'm not some more Canada.
Bianca was
Okay. Charlie.
So let's delve deeper into the issues. The Champions League is back, starting from Tuesday. Madrid will be playing against Bayern Munich at the Santiago Bernabeu, and also that same day, it's going to be Arsenal versus Sporting CP. So Arsenal will be traveling to Portugal to play the first leg, and then they will come back, and then at the Emirates they'll play the second leg. But the first leg between Madrid and Bayern is going to be at the Santiago Bernabeu. Alvaro Arbeloa has said a lot of things after losing to Mallorca in the Spanish La Liga, and Bayern Munich with a hot form. But good news for Bayern Munich, Harry Kane is back, and he'll be able to play that particular game. Let me start with
Harry. Cooked. You are cooked.
Are Messi na?
Harry Kane, you are cooked.
Are going to Messi? So you see, in the UEFA Champions League contest, see, we had this kind of fixture in the knockout stage. I think say if you are coming to do an analysis on set games now, you need to involve all factors before your final verdict on how the game is going to go, or the team that you personally think is going to win on a night. And you see, in the UEFA Champions League, Real Madrid are the most successful team as far as the UEFA Champions League is concerned.
Right.
And in such situations, no matter the situation, no matter the current form of Real Madrid, see about the UEFA Champions League now, we don't make fast science in defining Real Madrid. And I see in multiple occasions now, everybody doubts Real Madrid because of their recent form or their qualities of players at a point in time. And in situations against teams at the point about the UEFA Champions League conversation now, almost I leave it to the pinnacle of it and almost history. But it did Real Madrid buy into the conversation, meeting set teams now. And intimate find science in defining how games but most times, Real Madrid find a way to come out as a victorious between this side and Real Madrid number. And you see, Bayern Munich against Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League contest, overall, Real Madrid found 11 wins against them in the UEFA Champions League, and Bayern Munich 10 wins and 3 air draw. So overall competitions, overall matches in this kind of competition, Real Madrid look favorite ahead of Bayern Munich when they went to the UEFA Champions League in contest, both all matches on my ball and the number of UEFA Champions League won. And recently, 5 matches have won the UEFA Champions League between them. Real Madrid for win 3, Oma draw 2, Omun lose be against Bayern Munich. And in the UEFA Champions League in contest, the last time I Real Madrid for a lose here Bayern Munich in the Santiago Bernabeu was 2001. In the Santiago Bernabeu. Since then, in the UEFA Champions League contest,
those times Vicente Del Bosque was the coach, right?
Yeah. Since then, Real Madrid phone losing tia Bayern Munich in the Santiago Bernabeu. The last time Omulusu was in 2015. It was the Audi Cup. Nenye the UEFA Champions League. So about the UEFA Champions League in contest, and when historical aspect be one factor you use as your factor for an analysis among these two sides in the UEFA Champions League in contest, Real Madrid looks favorite in recent form and the UEFA Champions League in contest as far as the Santiago Bernabeu is in concern. But in as much we'll be talking about the historical aspect of this game, I was here back into the reality of what goes on the field recently. And you didn't come out. When you're talking about form and performance from last season to this season, I think it's about into the conversation between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, through in the UEFA Champions League and other leagues nominal bona. I think Bayern Munich know that about it. They're looking more favorable in terms of their forms. Because recent performance of Bayern Munich, last 5 matches, Oma winning 5. Oma draw back. Real Madrid last 5 matches, Oma winning 5. Last time, Oma winning 4. Oma lose back against Mallorca. And in the Bundesliga, we compare Bundesliga and La Liga because of teams number. But you compare leagues now, Obia League or Bar, Bayern Munich are top in the league, with a clear margin of, and I say with a clear margin, probability of 80%.
What's it for La Liga and compare them?
Me say when team compare leagues, Obia because teams win the home, teams win the home. Into a banner or the Bible converse will be top in the certain league in India. Obi so rare, you will not be fair because you're in the same league. But in as much, see this uncommon in and the league are all and league no top with a clear margin of a probability of 80%. The league no AJV and Real Madrid for a struggle at the second place. Barcelona for 7, which was the performance of the league and out the standard of Real Madrid in recently. So in terms of form, titling the UEFA Champions League in contest by a multi-factor with the same company. So now they look clear favorite as one of the teams who might win the UEFA Champions League this season. Looking at their performance at the round of 16 against Atalanta at Bergamo and Allianz Arena, and again group stages in the crowd, actually the kind of performance on by being fluid, being effective and efficient at the point in time, and you've been complaining about their defense, but they know how to score and know how to be compact in as much as they consider more goals. So in their performance, checking about their defense progress and attacking progress, they are there. It is balanced. And Real Madrid on the other side. Group stages in the moment man qualify automatic. The last stage of the group stages, Omutimi Ekonya lose against Benfica, and Momutimi unqualify automatically from the group stages. Uncle playoff against that same Benfica. Instead of performance previous season, any this season for Real Madrid standard in the UEFA Champions League, Omu leave it up to the Berlin. Okay. Because they also now a European Grandmaster. In the UEFA Champions League, what the 15 now? Now see about group stages we. Now see about playoff. It's also performance to your standard. Only live up to the belly. So Real Madrid performance recently, previous season, this season the UEFA Champions League question mark down. But in as much, so we didn't come about Real Madrid. So one day in the UEFA Champions League recently, forming so about in the UEFA Champions League in contest, this kind of factors, about to Real Madrid, in pain, and rare testament to it because you have seen Real Madrid in the group stages almost finding it difficult. Take last match to be qualified, but be PM the knockout stages now. Much of their pedigree and why the 15-time UEFA Champions League. So in all, talking about the performance of Bayern Munich and Real Madrid situation now, and you see Real Madrid situation now, people have started to complain about their imbalance. Say there, you be doing common and say now Real Madrid imbalance. A man for Pina associated with a certain place inclusion. Titrone, Kylian Mbappe and Jude Bellingham. And with their previous performance without them, Real Madrid looks balanced. and we're playing good football, even against Manchester City. Pep Guardiola will be a free say this will be the last stop for Real Madrid and the round of season of the UEFA Champions League. Almost both Santiago Bernabeu and Etihad as well. Almost show them away. So now the team look balanced. And then they Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, but if you do against Mallorca, and then man for Real Madrid. So now and come didn't say ene is Abelwa be both enough to bench these two players. No man, the team now look keep balance against a structured team. Vesen company headed by Munchi for now. Because in the overboard here, by Munchina, I was said, oh yeah, more over 100% in terms of how you defend and how you attack. Because they are fluid team. At the point in time, you see players exchanging positions, being fluid on the ball and again, on defend, on press well. And the opponents are not going to get that freedom to create chance numbers of creating. And Real Madrid going to cope. And if Real Madrid can able to cope, this is a more defense from attack. And there have been questions around Kylian Mbappe say, and the defense progress how Real Madrid for Bechar in terms of pressing on Fabima. I don't know how the problem for Real Madrid imbalance. Entiende sa Abelwa anya body enough no kwa start Kylian Mbappe. Is Kylian Mbappe going to press for Real Madrid? And if not, then Real Madrid is going to face the consequences. If yes, then I think it is going to be an even game. So I personally see Real Madrid winning this encounter. But on a condition, if Abelwa is bold enough to start in team now on free say a balance enough in Thiago Pitach and leading forward will be Vinicius Junior and Ibrahim Diaz. I see Real Madrid winning against Bayern Munich. But if someone bold enough, no go back Kylian Mbappe now at a point in time, you see playing Kylian Mbappe is not the problem. But will Kylian Mbappe do the needful when defending? If so way the need for now, I think it's a very positive for Real Madrid because in terms of attack, nobody can doubt his ability in terms of how better and how better threatful and dangerous to opponents. And if so, he will be able to defend as Real Madrid is expecting from him for the team to be balanced. And I think that Real Madrid is good to go against Bayern Munich. We'll be talking about how attacking prowess this Bayern Munich team are Visa company coach deba. How fluid they are, how much man show in the match for about 5 goals, leading the attack is Hurricane, Olise giving out a good performance at a point in time, Serge Gnabry acting as a second striker, Luis Diaz and all more fluid players in the attack. But Sinto or Merchant, we've been talking about their defense, and they knew because of how the structure that form, on bubble. But in every structure, and any team that will be playing Bayern this is my when I rely on quick transition. I am not hurt by Munich because on board not because it didn't attacking. To me, now anymore.
Now, Real Madrid going to the game without quick transition you are talking about because look, Real Madrid have PC attackers. You got players are much mature in the modern game. You talk of Kylian Mbappe, you talk of Vinicius Junior. They are very quick, very fast. So if they are solely going to rely on the quick transition, if they are going to take advantage of the deficiency of Bayern Munich, it's actually going to be a massive advantage to them. But the thing is, before you can rely or you can do the quick transition thing, you need a specialist in passing in the midfield. Has Real Madrid shown that quick transitions are more?
You see, against Manchester City, a rare testament to the Real Madrid's first goal was a long pass from Courtois to Federico Valverde and the Tomaji. So in as much say you need this kind of Toni Kroos profile, this kind of passes in the Babano, Real Madrid are finding a way to rely on long passes from their defense straight to attack. And the Inter makers and say, Bayern Munich team now, they look similar like how Barcelona for pressing. They are pressing with the Omola defense line, and it's similar to Manchester City. Almost and in this case, I not only a technical aspect of passes never. Even goalkeeper could started that transition.
No, but the goalkeeper should be good at passing.
Yeah, and say Courtois and Lunin in terms of the ball play. Lunin looks more comfortable with the ball more than Courtois.
Not looking more comfortable on the ball.
Pass, yeah. For me, maybe Courtois chance Courtois more. But Lunin in post. Now checking how or distributing the passes now. Okay. I think say he's there. Even if say on do Courtois now he's there.
Okay, let's bring it in stone. Like they watch should be centre back Juma. Anything. I was say way.
Said you are.
But look, don't forget, Madrid are going to the game without Thibaut Courtois. And I'll say this again: the Manchester City game in the second leg, in the first 10 minutes, if not for Thibaut Courtois, Manchester City would have won that game. They would have made that comeback before the red card. He made some crucial saves.
Of course.
Now they are going to play at the camp at the Bernabeu without Thibaut Courtois.
That would be a huge blow for Madrid team, because no doubt the kind of performance anytime Thibaut Courtois is in post or the Madrid set up, you can't say less about it, because there are times I will say Madrid ball. You could clearly see that the team is not performing, but Thibaut Courtois be outstanding in the team, making a lot of saves to help the team gain either a point and also be to also crack the maximum 3 points. And in a game against Bayern Munich, the figure Thibaut Courtois is much needed as compared to that of Lunin in the post. So I think that they are really going to miss him a lot. But notwithstanding, I think that with Lunin in post, I think he can also do something. If not say match the standard of Courtois Crampona, at least give something closer to the goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois at the Madrid. And this particular game, mostly say about Champions League, and him Madrid going into every game, clearly the favorite. And you can talk about the playoffs now against Benfica. We all saw the performance on Momaye. We're standing there, talking about the last good face game now on boy, and for them to get into the top 8. But it drew the playoffs proper, when it matters most, they show say at least they have the men to do something on the field. So yes, they were able to triumph over Benfica. And against Bayern Munich, I think that for this particular game, Bayern Munich clearly looks the favorite. Why? Because attacking wise, baby a ball more year power on the field of play on attack with the likes of Olise, Harry Kane, Luis Diaz. Like they have a lot of players attacking wise. What's the one here? Nicolas Jackson. Oh, Charlie. Masa. Or loan away from Chelsea. Me a Chelsea fan. No, not the hand is a born doing bo. But a ban of final third productivity now.
I say you are now.
Oh,
I say you must say enjoy the Ben blasters or committing fouls.
That's what I'm saying. Say maybe on any day will be some question about Nicolas Jackson. Me anything like positive. Apart from his ball playing qualities,
you should give a substantial reason for say Nicolas Jackson in ball.
Nicolas Jackson to me is not good.
9-on-1 quality.
No. Nicolas Jackson to me onye good.
But off the ball,
onye good as a striker.
Onye good as a striker. Right.
But off the ball, say workaholic.
Off the
no. What striker would you want to
go as over the wall?
Striker would you want to
Now Bobby Firmino.
Oh, Bobby Firmino as my king. Ball or ball was I say.
Bobby no say.
So as I was saying, Bayern Munich clearly going into this game are the favorites, and I think that the only thing Madrid able to gain something at the Santiago Bernabeu is say omo behwe omo defense ni, because currently we have omo defense now a little bit shaky, because a defense of a defense of Hoyson or probably either Rudiger and Militao. You have a lot of work to do to stop the attack of Bayern Munich, because the old baby this Bayern Munich sets on go, no doubt. The idea was that Madrid and say they will gain a convincing scoreline at the Santiago Bernabeu and some more moving to the.
So what should be the convincing scoreline?
At least
a 3-0 win.
No, in this particular game, Bayern Munich is clearly going to score. I'm not sure the scoreline is good.
But it seems we are really writing off Real Madrid.
You know
what do you think about that?
Listen, as I was starting, I was saying,
Yeah, what do you think about
Oh.
What do you think?
So superior.
Yeah. Like,
Me starting my submission, no, I was saying, say, this is the Champions League.
And in the
Champions
Harry.
Did you ask me? Did you ask me that question? Like, not that we are writing Real Madrid off. Yes, they are superior as compared to Real Madrid as it stands now. Look, a team that has scored over 100 goals this season.
Come on.
In the Champions League group stages, they were second to us now. Look at the firepower at which the attackers are scoring. You see, we are comparing it to what Real Madrid is going through now. And then Madrid need your better Sabia about so many Bayern game. The entire Madrid be winning is because of the Champions League experience. Amosana Moka. Lakum Kasasana Okai.
Dear Ben Real Madrid for kum. 5 matches all lose by Aquadian or kum. Man, you are
talking about the last 5 games. What of the 20-30 games now? No, look. Bayern, no, you see, Bayern is better than Madrid this season.
Of course,
over
clearly.
60-70%.
No doubt.
No, you see, and just say I am trying to discredit the performance, or I'm trying to just say I don't praise them and no. Being realistic, look at the kind of performance Harry Kane is displaying. Look, when the season started, Kylian Mbappe was giving that top performance for Real Madrid. And when we started having the Ballon d'Or conversation, it was between Harry Kane, Haaland, and Kylian Mbappe. Until Mbappe got injured. Until Madrid changed their coach. Why did they change their coach? Because the results began to be inconsistent. Right? Because Madrid started the season very well. And they even beat Barcelona in the El Clasico.
They won 10 games.
But after the El Clasico, Madrid was not able to replicate that form they showed during the beginning of the season. It's a difference, Kakra. But now, Bayern Munich has been able to start a season. They have maintained their form in the league, in the Champions League. It is a money Madrid equal. Look, nothing apart from the Champions League 15 and Madrid that I see more experience soon a bit media because Madrid are favorites to win against Bayern Munich because clearly they are on good form, they are on top form, their players are playing better, they are playing in a well-structured system than Real Madrid.
Bayern Munich na kwa team Ben Wesiano. This team Ben Wesiano.
That is good.
No.
That
No,
is good.
No.
That is
Team
good.
Ben Wesiano.
Now this is City team na here.
Good.
City
Look,
team.
team here na Wasiano. And you see, anytime I Osha team man, who they bring we bring now, or training level. Then when you're the Atlanta in the round of 16. No, I am not saying Atlanta news. But check the manner at which the number of goals are the two Atlanta
even
clearly it shows that he is way better than Atlanta.
Atlanta 5. No be share City 3 even. Obisha Atlanta 5. No be share Manchester City 3.
City team now. City team now can this
Atlanta na team ya
this season hasn't been the City that we know 3-4 years ago.
Bayern Munich the Champions League group stage, they Chelsea.
Yes. First, I
Right.
think that was the first league phase match. Yes.
And they lost to Arsenal. In the Champions League, only Arsenal apparently lose to Omo.
Yeah.
And apparently Arsenal topped the group stage.
So had it not been them, come on a better topic.
Yeah. So group stages match of the UEFA Champions League. The defending come. Indiana Liverpool last season got topic.
No, what you are saying. A football. It's not me can say. Bayern Munich could beat Real Madrid. It's probability.
I've not even said that. Me submission me can say
It's probability. But doing the analysis, considering every factor, Bayern Munich clearly starts as favorites.
Exactly.
In that game.
This game, no be no bit doubt that situation. Of course. So as I was saying, this particular match there, the only thing I bet him Real Madrid in this game is to check their defense. Because the attack of this Bayern side.
Defense in our car now. Well, it's supposed to really get no car.
So yes, the attack of this Bayern side, no. Very strong.
You really got to go up Upamecano defense way though.
Omo defense is stable than you guys.
Bayern Munich defense is not possible.
It's stable as compared to
And I never drew.
It's like you don't want to accept reality.
Yeah,
The Madrid defense has been inconsistent.
But
Can you compare Madrid?
Even
Because of
form,
injuries.
but then
if you are
injuries.
comparing
you guys.
the personnel of the Real Madrid defense, Bayern Munich defense being Stanisic, Coralima, Upamecano, and why?
Then again, you are doing the names.
Of course.
If
You're talking about
we do the
performances.
names, even the Madrid midfield has a better players. I mean, they are better
you see,
than
compared to
Bayern
Bayern.
Munich.
the entire you see, me can omu defense omu nya red test me bubian witness and the red test
red
and
test
then
And
the red test in ba omu some e kan na e be jack
Red test near Villana.
but omu church omu nya red test bia red test go manya bia say show me brebe and you see me problem me having say Real Madrid will be able to score them even 3 in the game because say on measure more 3 about but they can score them in 3 bet
Of course. So they can cast some of the
you see can Real Madrid defend almost won't concede 4. That's Real Madrid problem, not about scoring.
That's why I'm talking about their defense. In
Ah,
this
no,
particular
no,
game,
yeah,
they should check their defense. Come on.
No,
We do wow.
Well agreed.
Me guy doesn't do it here. Okay.
no, but being realistic, irrespective of the fact that Madrid has won the Champions League 15 times,
Yeah.
they are the grandmasters when it comes to that particular tournament. So it gives them the edge at least. Omuni obi kwa koshia sa hunu. Omu the ball opponents. But Jack, look, last season when Real Madrid eliminated Atletico Madrid in the Champions League round of 16,
All right.
they were going to the quarterfinal against Arsenal. That was the same conversation we were having. Arsenal, the Champions League, for the first time, Omu returning Champions League as the ring at Jam 200. It was 2 seasons before last season. And at Tata Mobile. So Real Madrid win the Champions League 15 times. And then I think they were the defending champions as coming to last season, right?
Yeah.
Good. So they have what it takes to beat Arsenal. But Arsenal showed that, look, you can talk of experience, agreed. But when it comes to the game, if I am on top form more than you, I'm going to beat you.
That one is
before Madrid game, no Arsenal game. Not Arsenal. Why not Arsenal? Arsenal before Madrid. Why?
I'm going to explain a lot.
In the round of 16, why not Arsenal no ball last season? So which match came on here?
Round of 16.
Arsenal, why not no ball round of 16 last season?
Seems anything huge, but it was.
They also a big game on board in the Champions League group stages was against a PSG. You mentioned a PSG. Luis Enrique, a drop with them big. So they did not face any tough challenge. But it's like what I'm trying to make you understand here is that, look, you have to respect Real Madrid when it comes to the UEFA Champions League. But Real Madrid form necessarily can't want to yes, me at display a phenomenal performance against Manchester City.
It can shock you, Real Madrid.
But yeah, because imagine then start here.
Bayern on paper is the favorite. Fact.
You see, men doubt them. Okay. Yeah, fact. Yeah, on paper they are because they are scoring goals, they are winning. And how you see how I feel. I make a say now will be maybe bit of a bias. But how I feel about this band.
No, yes. So yours is a feeling.
You see how you see. You can feel something. Maybe
what feeling now?
You see. Maybe on the eyes of the people, and the results are Bayern Munich. Kind of. Untiminya a factual data to back it. But the main Bayern Munich team is a munya red test.
So the real test will be tonight.
Yeah. But John Mojuma.
So Arsenal played against PSV in the round of 16.
Look.
I'm say
against PSV, right? Good. So Obini PSV are bought in the round of 16. And I'm Madrid about ball. Don't forget before the Madrid game against Arsenal, they had played Atletico Madrid. They eliminated Atletico
deep
Madrid.
down, so Arsenal ball at for
No, because you didn't know group stage.
What's it? Bye. We're more because the John Jano, Alacha, or Biba Alacha 10.
Hey.
Well,
Yeah. Newcastle Alacha. More than me.
Newcastle PSV. The PSV.
Check number of times that I'm making appearance. Newcastle 2002. I'm making an appearance before this.
Okay. If you make a crank, you
oh, there are. Oh, church room. There are. Yobeka.
Obia. nyobia. Me say, nyobia, me so me nyobia. Obia
Osre. You delete our so
Hey, Charlie, me say, the game is going to be exciting. The main reason why I sang that song is, in the Champions League, at every stage, although it's about pedigree, it's about experience. But Bayern and Real Madrid fixture will be a new beer. It be fact. You see, someone might subject it to Madrid the last 9 games, Madrid winning 8 and drawing only 1 against Bayern Munich team. It places Madrid as the favorite. Obika sa on your wrong. And Obisu by Kase, Bayern Munich is so. Bayern Munich is concerning the form, no see a favorite on your wrong. But you see, it's a UEFA competition, and at this point, round of 16, no, Ubet made the form a share ubi normal. But when it reaches the quarterfinals and the semi-finals, it's about experience and character. That's why I would tip Real Madrid. Now you see.
So everyone qualify against Bayern.
You see, that's where I would tip Real Madrid.
Oh, no, maybe there be no. I am the host. Even say, I don't understand how much more Otia. So you have to make things clear.
That's where I would tip Real Madrid. Oh. Now, you see, when it comes to the general play as a whole now, Real Madrid are having their flaws. No problem. Bayern Munich is one of the flaws. No problem. But you see, at the end of the day, you know, the character and pedigree now make one it lead to the whole frame now may build it. You see, 1. How many players of the Bayern Munich set up in a testing UCL that? That's the first factor. Harry Kane in GB there. Mikey Willis in GB.
Winning. Okay.
Harry
Kane. Manuel Neuer.
That was Manuel Neuer.
And
Joshua
Kimmich.
Kimmich. Yeah. Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka.
Yep.
Yeah. Apart from Omono, I think so more. I kind of say apart from 4 we know.
Goretzka.
No, Musiala and GB.
2020.
No, Nkaho.
Nah,
wasn't part. It's these players, you know, only 4 artists. Now you come to Real Madrid and you see Federico Valverde.
For them, they have chunk of players. Yeah, almost all of them.
Except
Danny Carvajal, except some new players beyond Mababishim. It's in Keka at the bigger stage. Moi, Keka some favorite. Say could be a better Real Madrid. But why are we all saying Bayern Munich? Me I'm saying Kramuji dey say nyame boy china Bayern Munich beat Real Madrid. Now, I'm not talking from Bayern Munich beat Real Madrid. I'm not talking from the point of me being an against supporter. I mean, yeah, against Inco. But I'm talking from the point of view of being an analyst. You see, Lacombe said something about when Madrid meets a well-structured team, they struggle. And it's very true. Madrid meets team with a coordinated press and they struggle. Because 1, Rudiger is not a proper ball-playing centre-back. Dean Huijsen is a proper ball-playing centre-back. And will you try Dean Huijsen in this game? With Militao coming from an injury? That's the question. Because at this point in the day, below one name, Eda Militao nebo. But only Dean Huijsen beko, which somehow, inexperienced in the kakra. But Ben Rudiger, you must obey or be guided. That's cool. Then you check the fullbacks, mobile playing abilities, you know. Carvajal also. Alvaro Fernandez Carreras also. That's fine. But nearly they say when coaches are building plans towards a game, they target the weak zone. And they be use this as an example. Say when Arsenal and other teams were going to miss Spurs, don't say now. Share Spurs lineup now. With a 3-back system under Thomas Frank. Those time under Thomas Frank. Kuti Romero, Mickey van der Ven, and Kevin Danso, our brother, on the source one bomb. But no making sure say we shouldn't let Kuti Romero and Donny van der Ven get the ball, or Mickey van der Ven get the ball. But we should let them position the ball towards Kevin Danso. When they don't make Kevin Danso touch the balls, you know, because we didn't money now, or no to me kutabo no. So it means that if Vincent Company is going to the game, or better target Antonio Rudiger. Me and Rudiger so on yadi. But with ball playing, what they compare the Whites not listening, no. So there is a problem there. Now you come into the midfield as a whole. No. Now, the dilemma of Alvaro Arbeloa has been said, should I start Jude Bellingham or Thiago Pitach? Because we know a player like Federico Valverde will start because of his press trigger. Someone like Aurelien Tchouameni will start because he's destroying the Madrid system. So, Ada Goulet will start because of his creativity. So, the spot is left for Thiago Pitach or Jude Bellingham. So, the dilemma is, should I bench Jude Bellingham in a big game like this or start Thiago Pitach? Which a bad problem, because I don't think Jude Bellingham a better than chance say you can Bayern Munich a whole Jude Bellingham JB5 recognized as one of the best midfielders in the game currently. No more bobo. Now Jude Bellingham to a youngster from La Fabrica in the shape of Thiago Pitach game. A very very difficult, but it's up to Alvaro Arbeloa. Then the up front, because Lacom highlighted at DB when we were shooting one content. Be saying Pep Guardiola highlighted one thing that defensively start up front, that's pressing. And which I always ask myself, saying, now, if I see Federico Valverde, maybe Federico Valverde will act as the right winger and also the right midfielder. So in that shape, or act as a Mezzala, right? Yeah. Now, as a Mezzala, no, in Valverde, so a workaholic, he will lead the press. Now, can Valverde trigger players like Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Junior to press? With winning, come any problem. Because Mbappe ni pitch in one, Valverde triggering Vinicius Junior to press ni problem. But Mbappe bayana, which is the problem. But the thing is, if Mbappe isn't pressing, then he should go for zonal press. So if Valverde winning air press there, then Mbappe to cover spaces ne be jatu on him no. Obet me ayana, and also a problem. And no the money probably shut that structures here and the flaws here. Real Madrid the way here. Almost then Bayern is the favorite of the competition. Now, yanko mekasanya tentende. Yanko Bayern Munich side hon na fi miwie. Bayern is a well structured team and you see how in aka. Both flanks contribute. Attacking wise, contribute. The striker no Hurricane A liter. Press coordinated. Their midfielders they have a controller and a workaholic midfielder. So even Serge Gnabry acting as a second striker as a whole in the crown. I work on the pitch too. It's a whole system. And you see, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Barcelona have a similar style. Now, when they are pressing the opponent, they pull their line very high. It's in a shape, I'm going to have high defensive line with a high intensity pressing. And the moment system is very difficult, So, on your mobile. But almost more defensive flaws. Yes. Stanisic, Unisuro. Second line man, Unisuro. So at the end of the day, it will be based on players like Vinicius Junior say they should have their day to execute or exploit the weakness of Bayern Munich to get a proper result for Bayern Munich. And Bayern as a whole, in as much as say Bayern she goes, no consider power or consider. So the problem is, will Bayern score Real Madrid without conceding? I don't see a problem. And will Real Madrid to score Bayern without conceding? And the two teams now are the defensive flaws in the problem. But at the end of the day, Metipe Bayern as the favorite. And Metipe Bayern as the favorite doesn't guarantee that Bayern is going to win the game. Being the favorite on paper means based on current form in the cup. But at the end of the day, tactical brilliance, individual brilliance, and discipline, and a bet ready to win the game. I think that at the end of the day, if Real Madrid is able to get a proper result at the Santiago Bernabeu, a 3-0 win at Santiago Bernabeu, and you're done for Bayern Munich.
All right. Let's quickly move to the other side of Spain, who's going to be the Catalans. They'll be playing Atletico Madrid at the Spotify Camp Nou. They will playing them 3 times. They've already played one. So they play one on Saturday, and then on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, they are going to play in the Champions League first leg. Lacom, you said something that Atletico Madrid are going to eliminate Barcelona in the quarterfinals, and Atletico Madrid will advance to the semi-final. Do you still stand by it?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Hey.
I don't
After coming now.
Because
Once I say, make more possibility. Maybe they want you to go to
You see me saying yeah, and that doesn't mean that.
Opinion, what's that?
And easy. The America be have reasons for it. The America be has reasons for it. You see, is it the Copa del Rey fish na munya Atletico Madrid no proud to it after say draw ne who say Barcelona Atletico Madrid. I said is Barcelona ebe eliminate Atletico Madrid from the Copa del Rey. But first leg, you know, Eba is a shock to me with the goal margin now. Diego Simeone,
Yeah, exactly.
and then man Hansi that flag of Wanda Metropolitano. You see, maybe, just maybe from a perspective on that encounter, how I'm checking the historical aspect, Eba in the Copa del Rey between these two fishes, and then there is the performance of the team, you know, that time, that situation, you know, and I'm to pay Atletico Madrid. I'm to pay Barcelona ahead of Atletico Madrid. So maybe, just maybe, it be how I'm in a situation, you know, with Barcelona and with Atletico Madrid and the historical aspect concerning these fixtures in the UEFA Champions League, maybe. And the problems of Barcelona, I personally think that it is going to be their big blow in this encounter. And I've said this. The Saturday when between Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, I was the one that Metropolitano. I highlighted him PR. For me, that was the reason why after the match I tweeted say Atletico Madrid is going to eliminate Barcelona from the UEFA Champions League. Not necessary. Say maybe.
Okay, so someone just let me do this.
Do this, yeah.
Obi the comments be by your previous video now you posted.
Was it?
Was it lacum and not necessarily the 5 and 6.
Otaka.
Boys, you.
Not necessary.
Okay, man.
And then we are doing well.
You see, the be no massive because of her. They mean can I'm to no obi video. No, I'm telling.
Oh, nice.
You see, I always feel happy when we sit here because you see, sometimes it's still not all about we sitting down and being serious. That's why sometimes if you're all castle, I said that cracky joke because we go on motion video, no, the person is going through a lot. At least we make me release this stress.
You see, per what we heard Saturday, Wanda Metropolitan after the match, and even na match Nicoya end day, and I tweeted, say Atletico Madrid is going to eliminate Barcelona. They should bookmark this post. And here was my bookmark, and I still stand by it. Doesn't mean say maybe I'll be right with that.
So what were your observations?
It doesn't mean say maybe Sunday busy, but from my perspective, how I'm here, no, that's how I'm. And here's the reason. You see, prior to this match, now I heard Barcelona against Atletico Madrid, the second leg of the Copa del Rey final. And after that first leg, no conceded 4 goals. So now here was the narrative, Ramatonda, because Barcelona at a point in time are trusted in this their materials, and the first reason I can say that first leg we were lacking a certain press trigger from our forward, and at a point Rafinha below the Beba, and at the point in time Infinity and makes an integral member in it, and on the course to our humiliating lose against Atletico Madrid at Wanda Metropolitano, and following that match in the second leg, and Omunina available, and they believe in that qualities. Says these players are available. Barcelona can do something against Atletico Madrid. Because Atletico Madrid in previous matches against Barcelona last season, actually say against Barcelona, they find it difficult to beat them. Throwing the Camp Nou, and the second leg was at Camp Nou. It's not Barcelona fulfill so bit more over 10 because of the materials. And the reason why I'm a cast Atletico Madrid eliminated Barcelona from this encounter is the materials are more available in the UEFA Champions League in contest Wednesday and the second leg. Because
so the players that would be playing the game.
Easy.
I mean, Wednesday is going to be Rafinha, Frankie de Jong,
Mark Bernard. Yeah. You see, and these 3 players, you need Mark Bernard film.
And then you Mark Bernard.
And make us you need Mark Bernard film. One of the 2 most important players are almost play an integral role for this Hansi Flick tactical approach. You know, these 2 players. Pedro count. These 3 players. At the point I want to this Hansi Flick approach work effectively and efficient. Okay. Because it do anyone their press force led by Rafinha. And at a point in time, when Barcelona for here are different fluid in their attack, Rafinha and Deba. At the point you will see Rafinha moving from right to left, left to right, and at a point in time acting as a striker. Or the fluidity in the bone. And the only team here, but not team defender on low block like Atletico Madrid. That's the fluidity in Rafinha bar. A cause some spaces, Emma, the likes of Lamine Yamal and their striker at the point in time be using. That is Ferran Torres or Lewandowski get to that space. Because of cause confusion for the center back of the opponent or defender low blocks because they're running. Or be critical space. It's in the first leg and in the Copa del Rey first leg. First half, I'm going to say, Rafinha or match with man. And because story because how I Atletico Madrid full defender. No more say force baby man. No more a fluidity in their forward. And some moment me anya that space na yajuma. And that space me ba Rafinha. So in the second,
I don't believe us. I don't agree with you that Barcelona lost that first Copa del Rey game for 1-0 because of Rafinha. It was because of the midfield.
You see, you see,
Sorry, midfield.
I'm talking
And
about.
Makedon left a lot of spaces.
And after you remember
That was
after the
the one
game
major
we
problem.
did,
You see,
I said it.
You see, I'm not saying he's the main reason why I'm losing. I'm talking about some factors that contribute to it because man
part of the factor, right?
because man shegu and I can say in the fluidity formation I play a bit by team no Rafinha in this Barcelona setup omo ni mo nyina on the back and again the pressing into omo make say first leg second leg no or buy no or the side ne buy omo shego e win for 3 goals into meaning or play an integral role when it's about without him no that role no or play no omo make sense kakra and to their midfield ya won Frankie Dioni Pedri e complement to omo well into omo ne wo ba it will be difficult for you to contain them on any other day some ba into their elemental no matter the team on the neighbor so one no bobo no maba into element no mean no it will be difficult for you to contain them and most times the team be any Barcelona for competing mostly there be a case so person Barcelona for you compete also physical enough but in your physicality no said these two players in their element or physicality no cry maybe because they know how to contain physicality with holding the ball and recycling the ball. Into physicality, not the baby. So in the second leg of Barcelona against Newcastle, their physicality by a second leg, a second half from recycling and holding up play. No, it's difficult for the method of Newcastle Sandro Tonali to contain them. And if they are in their element of physicality in the grammar, but in this case, the first leg, about Eric that Saturday match, about Eric Garcia and Pedri, and at the point in time we say when a bad combination and fight. And first half now make it that change the Mark Bernard by because at the point in time say Messi Diona nipo betima baba ya jumana Dion betima kakra will be Mark Bernard in their setup.
No bala come you see the Eric Garcia and then the Pedri double pivot combination. The change we saw in the first half was because Ronald Araujo had a knock.
He had a knock.
So he had to sub off Ronald Araujo. And because Eric Garcia was just returning from injury, you can't just risk him in the first half. So because Eric Garcia can play as a right back, then Eric Garcia was moved to play as a right back. And the Mark Bernal coming, look, I'm coming. This season, I've said this and I'll say it again. Anytime Barcelona play with that double pivot, Pedri and then Eric Garcia, Barcelona yet to lose a game.
Pedri is able to move forward very well because Eric Garcia gives that security to the back line.
You see,
and they've not lost a game with these
I'm not talking about. You see, I'm talking about how efficient it is.
No, but if they are not efficient, they can't win all games.
5 games.
You see how efficient it is. That's meme situation because that first half no mean no bono. Me who any effectiveness of it. And when when I'm say a bad combination because I say like.
So are you not judging based on one game because
one Garcia?
And you see, I'm judging because of the approach of Diego Simeone in that game. And me want say some use that same approach because at that point in the first half, now for Diego Simeone.
But let me tell you, Diego Pablo Simeone will not come to the Spotify Camp Nou to press like he did at the Moronda Metropolitan in the first 20 minutes.
Probability wise, maybe a high because of the alcohol in second leg and a concern. So when I saw Beza go extra or Beza 3.
No, the Obequet.
When I saw Beza go extra or Beza 3. It's better for him to open up and quite different conversation.
And but if he opens up to Charlie, he will concede more. That's the thing. No. Like the thing is, in the first leg, don't concede more. Even if you are going to lose, don't lose by a huge margin. Because at the Camp Nou, it will be difficult for Atletico Madrid to come and win at the Camp Nou.
But
So
it's
you
not
can-
impossible.
It's not impossible. At times it is difficult. But in order to make sure you travel or you carry the game to the second leg, map a strategy, be a bit conservative. Look, if you open up to play against Barcelona, that is when you see the explosiveness of players like Fermin Lopez and Marcus Rashford.
Because
And you see, I've seen,
they thrive in spaces.
you see, and I've seen many teams facing Barcelona or the Camp Nou. I might try this tactics of be defending on low block, be conservative, but still no more lose in huge margins.
But if you open up the arsenal,
And same things against Barcelona with the Copa del Rey second leg. On base say, man, on say 3. And I can say when the Barcelona born why you so City that deep now. They have that creative force now. O City deep kurebe urem. Barcelona team no. O City deep kurebe urem. And this how City deep dia e be cost kwatch so be at the point and be o be go no be bet o je na bia so be 2 goals bi on. E that it on because o go defend there untimi pull any threat. Because as they come and defend the second leg of Copa del Rey on pull any threat on the day. And one pull threat no more pull threat even if so we defend the crowd. What's the essence of you going to defend there? So what is it personally Barcelona for being more flaws? Same thing applies to Atletico Madrid. Men case Atletico Madrid fonso any flaws. More flaws be team no. Even at the point we defend no blocks, teams find it easier to penetrate.
Yeah.
but it's like we are talking about that.
You know, say me case we not
So
coming
like
back.
after we and coming back.
And I come back yeah. Maybe I know say
Atletico Madrid, omu a lot
of flaws. Yeah, and I
omu
know.
defense no enyo.
Enye na Lenglet pass bi a. Ojibo kwentimi.
Omu defense no enye.
But there is a certain level of defensive solidarity when the combination of David Hanko and Mark Pabel is there.
But Mbappe is injured.
I'm forcing no.
Okay, then that means they are going into the game with a half-fit centre back.
And it's going to go.
But Lenglet also play.
You see, and one of the reasons is when for me, you say no matter the centre back Atletico Madrid they will Simeone be used. I think say Barcelona need the typical number 9 in Robert Lewandowski in this encounter.
Yeah, I think he'll play Lewandowski.
Yeah. Because that match now on Saturday. I feel say now the centre backs of Atletico Madrid are too comfortable. But ten be many presence of a player towards them, they feel threatened.
Yeah.
Because Lenglet be mistakes be nako. Mahun Lewandowski in this occasion sir. Say original defenders in so Obama defender are prone to making mistakes. You take advantage.
Maybe you contribute for goals, but
For goals,
but drag your market
yeah.
spaces.
Sanity.
When Lewandowski is up front, because of his personality, he's a scary figure.
Exactly.
We are centre backer. You wouldn't love to come more
Yeah.
because the little mistake and the little chance you give to him, he's going to punish you. That's
And you see,
Lewandowski.
Mark Pubele bar, you know, so you're comfortable with the ball on that progressing passes in the ball. And he said, Onya a typical number 9 done so. Every man look, he said, maybe I can make mistakes. Or better me the one about him.
How many, Papa?
Oh, Mark Pubele is
Mark
good on the
Pabel,
ball. Very good on the ball.
Mark Pabel is good.
You see,
with
I'm
his
not. I'm
feet.
saying, you see,
I'm not saying
Very good
you
that
see-
one there.
I'm not saying he's not good.
but
He's
yes,
very
yeah.
good. But the way I'm doing it too.
But me funny to baby. But me make I say, you see,
What is that? Basa or Kubasimo?
Metiasia, you see, Kubasi, no matter the situation and no matter how threatening or feeling when center forward be done, so now still not being a German. But Mark Pubele say center back be done, so on yes, a German. But on man, no corner without the center forward done, so obey a German. But Kubasi with or without the pressure of a center back, obey a German or a man. But Mark Pubele, because of say on your that natural center back and you're forcing the ball because of the ball playing ability. When you're a center forward or hard doing down so a bit putting at the back, on my may say German or Nimi Gemon. It's a big advantage to Barcelona. But Ujana without a center forward, only Majumani Yakra.
Okay.
It's what the ball be when Mbappe German.
Stoney. Basa Atletico.
Barca Atletico. Well, Adi Etienne say any team or ball against Barcelona Biano needs to be very clinical up front.
Okay.
And Yahoo and Pain Bebre on most occasions are attackers goes on 1v1 with Juan Garcia. And how would me open up his body to save those situations?
But no one is talking about him in this game, though. I'm shocked.
Juan Garcia.
Because if this game, if this season, if it was Sergini, this conversation would have been different.
Oh, yes.
He has
That
been
one day.
instrumental to Barcelona.
Exactly. Juan Garcia in the Barcelona setup, no. I think that has contributed much to Ebi Omadru Sesiano in the Champions League. And again, I've said this already. Say, I don't trust this Barcelona setup. Although say they have a good goalkeeper and they have, let me say, a sharp attack.
A better midfield.
Everything. The
No, I said no. I said no.
Because
in Europe,
he doesn't want trust the Barcelona team.
I trust your setup. I mean, you have a good coach.
No, but I said don't stop.
I
I doesn't trust.
Still, I mean, I doubt, say, with all these qualities, no more than you know, I still doubt, say, Barcelona is going to win this year's UCL.
We are not saying we are going to win UCL.
Exactly. I'm building my point.
No, but Yanyan Drew win UCL.
Ube points in a go.
Wait a minute, you goals in there. Yanyan Drew.
Obi be already points.
My main come accept. Masomano. Because we named them here.
Mr. Masemba, Mark Kakra
So yes, as I was saying, let's focus on Yami Adoma or China match in Barcelona. And as I was saying, everything be on Barcelona able be just try to be very clinical. Do not squander the chances now being. Barca a setup in the you himself flaws in room with this kind of tactics now. Hansi Dicta Flick Ebono. The high line idea where they are teams are going to create a lot of chances. So the chances now be creating. Just make sure say you are going to utilize it. Make sure you are able to score. And only are there some other teams to stop Barcelona from winning. And again, the first leg will be played at the Camp Nou, the Spotify Camp Nou. And Barcelona this season actually say at the Spotify Camp Nou there, it is a fortress for all other teams of Obaho. This particular season, the least number of goals on Moshe Obiano is at least 3 goals. So meaning say Atletico Madrid coming to the Spotify Camp Nou should make sure say Obetim must stop the Barcelona attack, which is going to be very impossible. With the likes of Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, Fermin Lopez, and even Rashford over the weekend. Say with the absence of Abrante Rafinha, he can do something. So yes, does Atletico Madrid have the defensive ability to stop this number of players? And with some kind of setbacks, be Atletico Suswanya in their defense. I think it will be very difficult. That's what I'm saying. Is they should be very clinical up front. The number of chances on they should make sure say on at the back of the net. And I'm sure if they are to get a convincing score line at the Spotify Camp Nou, taking the game back to Wanda Metropolitano, I think it's almost so kind of a fortress for them. Our teams find it difficult beating them over there. So yes, particularly in the UEFA Champions League. So many Atletico Madrid there, I'll just get a convincing score line at the new Spotify Camp Nou, then take the game back to Wanda Metropolitano. Say the Bayern game a bit much was free.
Anything I want Atletico Madrid, then I Chelsea.
I'm letting you
Come on, So 3-0.
What's it?
3-0.
I was 3.
Sao ni dia me say, you 3 years old.
3 years old.
And it's a much of
Sao no. Every day there example.
2012 you know.
Every day there example.
Only one for the social media. Oh, very reflective.
Oh, examples are. Sao no. Examples are.
Oh, Chelsea. Okay, so tomorrow, Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid. Very interesting fixture with two. One is a best coach and the other is a good coach. Yes, Untiasi Akwashe Pumaka.
That's what Obianga
Untiasi. One is a good coach and one is a best coach. So Intimeka do a good coach now is Diego Pablo Simeone. Is Diego Pablo Simeone and the best coach is Hans-Dieter Flick. Yes. Untiasi Ana.
So well, in India.
You see, in fact, going to you see, the game as a whole, no, the weekends, it paints a clear picture of what's going to happen on Wednesday at the Spotify Camp Nou. And highlight Atletico Madrid flaws and a Barcelona flaws. It's and yet Barca and Kwan flaws na highlighted Atletico Madrid so flaws. It means so we these two managers now in a touch line. In as much say at that point, now Hans Flick episode rainy game na 3 points, no extending in lead, ahead of Real Madrid, At the same time, no, I was say of shit, maybe a course 1 or 2 be not penning it down. Then he works towards it on Wednesday, before Wednesday. So at the end of the day, the victory be great team. And now Diego Pablo Simeone is now rag game win. The defeat, maybe a uncle ye seen to be a CNT, and ma lose you game, You two should work on it. And at the end of the day, also beat him any deserve result now they are commander Metropolitano. Now the BCSC. But in all, I think say Atletico Madrid is having absentees. Barcelona is having absentees. But you see, Atletico Madrid absentees, any absentees via so many games now Atletico Madrid can play very well. But Barca is having some key players here. And a key player when you game anymore, the structure of Barcelona, how efficient they are, say a charge up at 100%, so it's about 70%, which is Rafinha. And after the Rafinha injury, we've done sequence of videos highlighting say if Rafinha is injured in this game, it's going to affect Barcelona because he's the press trigger in the game. Now, in the first leg, we can say, we can't entirely say it's because of Rafinha and Barcelona losing game, because they lost Pedri too. But the key thing in that game was say, one, Barcelona were not pressing very well. The press wasn't coordinated. And two, if you're not pressing coordinated, then your midfielder shouldn't leave spaces because a high risk game now, a risk in a take. It's your own pressing very well. Now, press ninja, now conservative there. You should limit the spaces. So your midfielder should be in position. So that game, the main figure, not Obia criticizing within that game was Frankie de Jong. They were all saying, Frankie de Jong, you left a lot of spaces. Even Hans Flick Becker said the midfield left a lot of spaces. But I highlighted the fact was Frankie de Jong because every coach will protect his player. So that was the key thing. And Barca were not pressing very well. Now, it brings me back to the weekend. On weekend, the press was not that good compared to what Rafinha would give, but it was okay. But the only key thing Atletico Madrid are efficient in the game was because the midfielders knew how to occupy the spaces, just spaces, and to compare to what happened at the Wanda Metropolitano where conceded 4 goals. And Lacombe said something concerning the Eric Garcia and the Pedri midfield. You see, when you're having Eric Garcia, you are able to move up front, Gidi. Pedri is able to move up front, Gidi, to do more of the orchestrator job. Now Eric Garcia, as it deep, I am more of the destroyer because Eric Garcia to me need that control the Juman 100%. And I want to mean that ball progress in the Juman Frankie do on the Bemano. To obey the shielding force for the back line for Pedri to move up front. So that be your ball castrated. But if you're having Marc Bernard can be the progressor. Obetimai or castrator at the same time. Same Marc Bernard can move up front to occupy spaces to score goals. That's the difference between the two. So Frankie de Jong and Emu Baku occupier, they are different profiles altogether. Into Biano coach what you prefer. But coach ni muni die. And ka Marc Bernard ho anke beboa. Because Marc Bernard Jenny Rafinha ho no so be contribute goals now. The goals factor has been Fermin Lopez, either Dani Olmo, Cavaya, or either Lamine Yamal. And Marc Bernard also be a secret force will be invading into the box with a third man runs so they Eddie go there. Abba. But when we see game, so the coach have to map up a plan. And one thing is, Atletico Madrid, more press very well. You saw it against Arsenal. So we press Atletico Madrid very well. You force them to go long balls. That brings me to the picture of the goal you see here on Saturday. Giuliano Simeone goal. Now, Clement Lenglet had the ball. Now, who was supposed to press? That was Dani Olmo. When initiated pressing very well, one call for pressing, which gave him time to think and locate their pass. And you see, when they're going on a high defensive line, then do you about proper pressing? One pressing very well now, open and the chance or benching my pass a breaky. Which at the end of the day, the Giuliano team invaded line very well. And you only one Garcia 1v1. It's unusual thing say one Garcia into man CV. AC because anytime you have one Garcia by there, it be my CV boss, you know, and a tournament. But at the end, Barca needed results. You know. But on Wednesday, because the other day I talked about say the game will not be an intense game because returning from international break in any unit, you know. These coaches, you know, and I consider there's about 3 games in 10 days. You know,
Okay.
they will know how to conserve energy towards the game. But on Wednesday, you know, energy now conserve, you know, I was so bad there. Will be replicated on the pitch. So I'm expecting Marcus Rashford more. So I'm be man. And Atletico Madrid, Diego Pablo Simeone, you know, or bagging with that plan. They say Camp Nou is a venue maintaining going on. So at least me draw fine. Me renia o say ye. But at least me benya draw na me a loose margin a 2-1 a favorable result. Me the back Wonder Metropolitano with the support of my fans, you know. I know I will qualify. But Barca Eberenia qualify from the competition. Yes. But the game no will be decided at the Civitas Metropolitano. Yeah.
I think the game is going to be like what happened last season in the quarterfinal against Dortmund.
Okay.
So yeah, the game will be done at the Camp Nou tomorrow.
There's a bare 4 goals margin will Camp Nou.
You be sure Atletico Madrid to play, honestly. Yes. Mintiasia, you see, no. Mintiasia, the reason why team are only opponent Aquaco before Champions League game. Team now win you. Team now win you. Yet you see team the lose.
The man at which.
The man at which saying.
Obo for can man out wait. Man to fix
it's very surprising.
It's not surprising. It's not surprising because
the
situation in
why
the
did they
game.
no why did they get that red card? It's not discipline. Is it not a deficiency?
Yeah.
Who caused that? It's not Diego Pablo Simeone.
Exactly.
Who played Nico Gonzalez as the left back?
And I tweeted that. Okay, I like come down me tweet, you know. But see, in as much say the game was not intense, you know. It's a total disrespect for Diego Pablo Simeone to stand Nico Gonzalez as a left back against Lamine Yamal. Maybe tweet here and disrespect, and it paid off.
So yes, Atletico Madrid against Barcelona, the UEFA Champions League, Barcelona does not have that good record against Atletico Madrid. Agreed. But look, no matter good record or bad record, you're talking about form. Currently, Barcelona or form is in Atletico Madrid.
It counts, yes.
When it comes to game changes, Rafinha agreed. Barcelona or game changes. Let's see Atletico Madrid.
Even Ferran Torres,
game changes Benamo. Women pound union.
Atiko no game changer. Atiko no obi. One aboni di. One aboni.
Barcelona were game changers than Atletico Madrid. Barcelona has a better coach than Atletico Madrid.
A best coach.
Oh, Jack. What do you want?
Oh, there was a yes Sabudi.
So you look at this. Jamaica game changers are. Don't forget, Barcelona has a certain Robert Lewandowski as their number 9. Barcelona was Lamine Yamal. Oh, Rashford. Look, in the Indian Rashford once is because of the press. Right? But if you are talking about someone who you can rely on based on the numbers, because this season, Rashford averaged 15 goals and assists this season for Barcelona.
Yeah. 21 goals and assists.
Good. So look at the numbers. He can guarantee you the numbers. But in the press instance, Obian can was him. As Obian can say, Rafinha free on a higher. But when it comes to the numbers, he guarantees you that Barcelona have Dani Olmo who can change the game. Look, in the first leg in the Spanish La Liga, Dani Olmo was very impactful in that game. Emmanuel has shoulder injury.
Yeah.
So when it comes to game changes, even in the midfield, Pedri, Fermin Lopez as a number 10. For Pedri in the past, I think it's the day that the Hansi Flick bet tries to be.
I don't think he used Casado.
And also, there's a certain Cancelo who can decide games when he's attacking. And see, I look at these factors. I look at these factors and I look at the results of Barcelona and Atletico Madrid in the last game. I'm about you, but you see, I am a bit surprised and shocked. Game now, man, for sure now. Quickly, they have been able to draw conclusions there because of waiting. Meanwhile, they are failing to admit.
Yeah, last 3 matches on boy, Obiasha 5 goals. Last 3 matches on boy, Obiasha 5 goals. Most of them, you see.
Last year, Obiasha 5 goals. I don't understand.
Talking about game change now, I feel that Omo French. But in the game, game changes more. But now visit more fresh.
No, I'm talking about game changers in the team.
Okay.
Who can Atletico Madrid rely on? Julian Alvarez, right? Griezmann actually against Barcelona. One of the opponents that Griezmann struggled to score Barcelona. Griezmann. No, it's no. We are talking about facts here. We are talking about facts here. I understand. Lookman is a very fine player. But you see, who can Obifu for us more? You talk about the Champions League. What I say? But Ejruba Sansudia, Lookman will now become the world-class player and he'll be deciding the Champions League.
And I see, me buy into the historical aspect between them. And only men encounter in the UEFA Champions League. What you free?
Oh, use your name.
Mencas will be but you free
Between you guys.
So the head-to-head in the Champions League. Free. That's why I said agreed. What I say?
But currently, you are talking about the
no
four.
problem about that one. Champions League history. Omar Yefrim recently in 2016. But look, you can't Atletico Madrid see me no enei. Omo coach oni omo ye ejuma. What did I say? And now the last match cry a boy ye and na Simeon ni beti mayo. What did I say? Enye mi ngwa say obesa so akwa Danico Gonzalez no as led back you.
Quebec ko puno space. Quebec ko puno space ho. Make Kabibia. Quebec ko
look. Look, the plan for Nico Gonzalez on the night was to be very aggressive on Lamine Yamal. That was their plan.
Nico Gonzalez on also watch chance. I was on attack. Obi a full
was to be very aggressive.
That decision there, it was very.
Any pay more or chief football score
So that's why I said another deficiency for Atletico Madrid. Their coach.
Who said no or trying error?
Okay. Any problem?
But Liverpool ne PSG match and just quick.
Omodro me say Liverpool be qualifying still as a stand
ahead of PSG.
Hey. Liverpool qualify ahead of PSG.
What's the end of the one shock? No, like more.
Atletico Madrid be say the one shock.
Atletico Madrid be say the one shock.
Ale who is it? Sa much who is it?
We need the papa. Papa say Liverpool will qualify ahead of.
I didn't know.
It's your opinions are like
PSG for men job new.
Matthias boss. Quickly, right?
You live to see.
I'm tipping
You live to see.
Come here.
I'm tipping Paris Saint-Germain because and it's not this season, you know.
Okay.
He has totally had a systemic
Failure.
The system not failing.
Systemic failure. What kind of flaws are there? All the brofos were failing.
We're failing.
I feel it this season.
Even there are news coming out say he's trying to resign at the end of the season. This game there, Paris Saint-Germain.
Liverpool.
Charlie Paris Saint-Germain show mo bebre masa Liverpool team. Arsenal Sporting there.
Sporting CP.
First leg near
First leg
go
Portugal.
Sporting.
Sporting may qualify.
First leg. I'm talking about the first leg. First leg match, you know. Arsenal should be very careful. Because Sporting at home this season, you can go and check their records.
Yeah, and I'm only about 5, the 4.
Yes. It's very dangerous over there.
One kind of.
Say about ambassador.
So at Portugal, I'm tipping Sporting to have a double chance ahead of Arsenal.
Okay, that match.
For that particular match.
Sporting is going to win against Arsenal. That match. But qualification, Arsenal is going to qualify.
All right, thank you very much.
My main cats are Arsenal. My main cat typical tree. Omo ya dapa for papa.
And we cholo Simeon in Kwane de man.
Almost ever better na. Ayo ni aye.
Omo say better.
Dapa for no.
Omo ya dapa for papa.
Me kala tete na ya dapa for.
Me akwa bi e fe ne Ntori. Me say by now or hear me.
Na yenchia afia palemu.
As I make am we can use afia palemu. Obi am start with quadruple. As na start with quadruple. See a double.
Oh, check on us teams I say. Obi team ni quadruple, also teams we are.
Someone told you. Oh, me have to.
I see what team naka say.
Oh, team aka say. Aka FA Cup.
Wait.
Oh, you got your
Let me singlet.
Champions no bet match.
Singlet.
All right, FNC, all right, Charlie.